my book and wax friends. I'm Amber. If you're new, welcome. Welcome back if you are returning. I post about all things home fragrance and books, and today's video is a bookish video. It is my 5-star predictions wrap up for the second quarter of the year. And definitely stay tuned for my third quarter predictions, which should be the video following this one. Should be that video. But let's see how well I did. I will go from the lowest rated up to the ones that actually made it onto my 5-star list. So the first one I have to share is a DNF, and that was Clooney Brown. So I thought that Clooney Brown might be something that could be a 5-star, even though it isn't my normal genre. It is a fiction, women's fiction from, I think it was like the 1930s or something, I think is when it came out. And I do like classic novels. I've never read anything by this author who was Marjorie Sharp, and I attempted it. I got a couple chapters into it, and I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't really like Clooney. And again, it was only a couple chapters in, but I wasn't feeling the vibe from those couple chapters. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to force myself. So I DNF'd that one. Then my other DNF was just a soft DNF though. And that is Heather Fawcett's Agnes Auber's Mystical Cat Shelter. And if you can tell from this cover, this definitely looks like winter. And as I was starting to read it, definitely winter vibes. And by the time this was the second quarter, so April to June was these books and by that point in time, I wasn't wanting to read wintry books. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to save this for next year and read it in like January or February. And I'm sure it'll probably go on my predictions then too. So for now, it's a soft DNF, but I was enjoying what I had been reading. Just wasn't feeling it because of the wintry vibe. So that is that one. Okay, moving on to ones that are actually rated. The first one, rating wise, after the DNFs, my lowest was The Weaver Bride by Lydia Gregovic. And I rated this 3.75 stars. I did enjoy it, almost a 4-star. It was about this world where there are these women that have like magical hair. What are they called? Silk witches, I think is what they were called, if I'm remembering right. And the magic can only be controlled by weaver witches, which are male witches. And they can turn their hair into different like magical like elements, magical things type of thing. And in the story, the main character is kind of in disguise, and she is a silk witch and has this magical hair, but she's in disguise. And she gets found out by a weaver witch, and he strikes up a deal with her and has her infiltrate this competition that is happening to win the hand of this high up guru weaver witch, the son of this head honcho. And so she goes into this competition because who she's paired up with to infiltrate the competition, his sister passed away the previous year, and he thinks it was murder. And so she's gone to investigate that. So like I said, 3.75 stars. I did enjoy it. It felt like the main character, Lovett was her name. She was a little contrary, it felt like. It's like she was there to investigate, yet at the same time, she didn't ever want to tell, I think his name was Elliot, I could be wrong, tell him anything of what she found out because she didn't trust him either. And it just got a little bit irritating after a while, I felt like. And then it was a little bit insta-lovey in regards to the romance aspect of it. So like I said, 3.75, not a 5-star, but I really love this cover. I think it's so pretty, pink. Okay, after that, I have The Bride of Fallen Stars by Victoria McCombs, and this one ended up being a 4-star for me. Isn't that such a pretty cover? I love it. So this is a clean fantasy romance. So there was no language, no open door scenes. And this is about 2 twin sisters that are celestial. So think fae, but like having to do with celestial things. And they are in charge of like the day and the night. And one of the Cora and Adele were their names. And Adele ends up getting, when they're about to ascend to the throne, to become in charge of the day and the night. Adele is over the night. And then, oh no, Cora. Sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. Cora is the one that's in charge of the night. Adele is in charge of the day. Yeah, I don't know why I thought their names were mixed up. And Adele ends up betraying Cora and wants to take the power of the night for herself as well. But Cora is hiding something that she was being hid to protect everybody, in that she has control of like this monster that in the past had tried to take over, or was like taking over the land. And it's something that those that are the night celestials have been containing this monster for all these years. And so, but it's kept a secret. And so the fact that Adele kicks her out of their kingdom and she falls and takes the power for herself, she doesn't know. She didn't know that there was this thing that Cora was trying to keep contained. So there's that mystery. And then the element of, at the same time, when she falls to the earth, the mortal king is also kind of being forced out of his kingdom, even though he is there to kind of have like checks and balances in regards to the other celestial courts. He was put in power to keep those checks and balances, while the other celestials are trying to overthrow him. So Cora, did I say Cora? It is Cora. I don't know why I keep on wanting to say it's Adele. Cora and him end up forming this partnership where they have like a fake engagement. And he used to be in love with Cora's sister, Adele. So that's a long and rambling synopsis of this book. It was good. I really did enjoy it. I feel like I will enjoy the next books in the series more. It was a bit of a setup book for me, but I did enjoy the characters. I feel like we need to get more development for them though. But I did like Cora, and I don't even remember the name of the guy. I have no idea, but the king. I did like their relationship with one another. So I did enjoy this, but it didn't give me this 5-star feel. So it was only 4 stars. Okay, I'm going to try and be a little more concise for the next. The next ones I have was a reread, but it had been a long time since I read this one. I'm in the middle of rereading the Anne of Green Gables series, and this is Anne of Windy Poplars by Ellen Montgomery. This is book number 4. And the series is a 5-star series for me. This time around reading this, I can't remember the last time I read it, what I felt about it. But overall, I love this series, 5 stars. But this one ended up only being 4 stars for me this time. And it's because a lot of it is epistolary in that Anne is writing to her fiance, and I won't say who that is. And she is a principal off at this other school away from Avonlea. And she ends up coming across all these other characters that we know nothing about. None of them are characters we've ever interacted with. And I just found myself not really caring all that much. I still loved Anne. I still loved being with Anne. But you would get these almost like focus too much on these other characters when I know we probably won't ever see them again at all, and they had never been in either book. But I enjoyed the fact that we got a little look into Anne's life before she ends up getting married. So I guess this was written by the author, like after she had written the others. She came back and wrote this as a like bridge between the 3rd book and the 5th book. So I enjoyed it, 4 stars, but definitely not 5 stars like the others in the series. Okay, after that one, my next prediction for a 5-star was The Swan's Daughter. This is by Roshani Chokshi. And this one was so close, you guys. I ended up giving it a 4.75 stars. This is a magical, whimsical time. I loved it, but the very last few chapters, once we got to the 3rd challenge in the story, it felt rushed. It felt like it was just over with and everything was wrapped up. Almost like the author couldn't really think of how she wanted to end it. And so there was an ending, but everything just felt like all of a sudden everything was taken care of. And so for that reason, I couldn't give it a full-on 5 stars, but through most of the story, I loved it. And so I was so close. So this is about a girl who is called a Veritas Swan. So she is a magical creature who can turn into a swan. Veritas swans can. And when they sing, they can get the truth out of a person. Well, when she was born where she can't turn into a swan, and she doesn't know why. And then her voice when she sings, it sounds terrible. She can still get the truth from people, but it sounds awful when she sings. Well, she ends up going to this kingdom where there is this soon-to-be king who is going to ascend the throne, but he needs to be married. But in their family, there's this curse where someone will try to kill them if they don't have, if there's no love between them when they get married. They can be there for the wrong reasons and try to kill the king and ascend to the throne themselves, type of thing. And then the king or the queen becomes a tree is what it is. This is, like I said, a very whimsical fairy tale type of story. And so Esmeralda, was that her name? Esmeralda? Yeah. Demelza, not Esmeralda. Demelza ends up going to this kingdom. She ends up making a bargain with the prince to where if she can stay in the kingdom, she will help him. She'll join this competition to win his hand, but just so that she can find out for him whether the other women there to win his hand are there for the right reasons or there because they do want to kill him and ascend the throne themselves. So that is the gist of the story. Like I said, loved it. Just the very last few chapters, unfortunately, were rushed for me. So that is The Swan's Daughter. I still highly recommend the book. It is a fun, magical time, no language or open door scenes at all. And it was just a wonderful book. So if you love whimsical stories like I do recommend that one. Okay, after that, we're moving on to my actual 5-star books. So if you've done the math, you should know out of the 10, I had 4 or 5 stars. So yay, that's still the record. I still haven't beaten 4 as far as my predictions go, but have very high hopes for the next quarter. Stay tuned for that video, like I said. So the first 5-star out of my predictions was Theo of Golden, you guys. This is by Alan Levi, and this was such a wonderful story. Heartwarming, emotional. It was just beautiful. It's about a man named Theo, and he moves to this town of Golden in Georgia, and there's a mystery behind him. He moves there, no one knows really who he is, and he just goes by Theo. And he ends up starting to buy these portraits that are hanging in a local coffee shop that are portraits done by a local artist. So he purchases the portraits, then he finds those that the portrait is of, and then he returns them to the rightful owner. And he gets to know the person that he's returning the picture to, and friendships get formed, found family. It's just a beautiful story, and I don't want to give away anything, but I definitely say read it. It is a wonderful, like I said, heartfelt, emotional, feel-good story. I loved it so much. So Theo of Golden was my first 5-star. After that, my next 5-star was one I just read last month, and that was Love and Saffron by Kim Fay. And this one is an epistolary novel between 2 women. One is an up-and-coming reporter, newspaper writer, magazine writer, and the other one is an older lady who lives off the coast of either Washington or Oregon, one of those, Pacific Northwest, on an island, and she writes every once in a while for a magazine there where she talks about food and island life and that sort of thing. And they end up striking up a friendship because the younger female main character reads her article, and because she loves food as well, she sends her a letter with a little packet of saffron enclosed. And from that, there is a friendship that forms that spans across years, and it's all about their lives and their hardships that they have to go through and the strong bond they end up forming as they share their lives with one another. And I loved it. It's another one that made me cry. So, I loved it. It was so good. As far as epistolary novels go, I feel this one was straightforward. If you aren't normally an epistolary reader, I don't think this one would be an issue for you. I did read it physically and through audio, and I wasn't confused. I've had others in the past where it's just too much in regards to now who's talking to who and that sort of thing. This one's pretty straightforward. So if you're an audiobook reader, I do recommend it. Don't let that stop you from reading it. So Love and Saffron by Kim Fay. If you love food, you love friendship, I do recommend this one. Okay, after that one, my next one that was 5 stars was Tempest and Tea Leaves by Rachel Morgan. And this is a fae fantasy meets Pride and Prejudice is what it is. Clean romantasy again. And I adored it, of course, 5 stars. So this is about a girl who is half fae, and she and her family moved to what in is the equivalent of London, but in a fae realm. They move there because she's going to have a season, and they need her to find a husband that has money because they are in dire straits, and her dad's family is about to lose their estate, that sort of thing. And so they move there, yet those people in the city that's equivalent to London, I cannot remember what it's called, have a lot of prejudices there in regards to those that are human. And so she's looked down on. Iris was her name. Yeah, Iris is looked down on because she is only half fae. Now, a lot of the fae end up having magic like present within themselves in various ways, and that's when they have their season, pretty much, to demonstrate to the Fae Queen what they can do. And so it's about her and trying to find a husband, but at the same time, she's kind of adopted by one of these higher up matron Fae ladies who owns a tea shop, and she ends up being the grandmother of the main male character, who is very prejudiced against Iris because she's only half fae, and that sort of thing. So again, think Pride and Prejudice, except make it fantasy. And I loved it. Banter, Regency vibes, amazing, magical, whimsical, loved it. So I do highly recommend this. I am looking forward to reading the next books in the series, but I have pre-ordered special editions, and so I'm just waiting for those to come before I read them. I could get these editions too, but I'm going to get the special edition of this one and probably donate this to a little free library because I want other people to enjoy it too. So that is Tempest and Tea Leaves by Rachel Morgan. Highly recommend. Obviously, 5 stars. And then the last one on my predictions that did end up being 5 stars is Kiki's Delivery Service by Eiko Kadono. This is a Japanese translated book, and I loved it. So this is also a Studio Ghibli film. I have not watched the film yet. I want to, but I haven't watched it yet. But I loved the book. It was so cute and whimsical and fun. As I said, I'm all about the whimsy, you guys know. So it's about a girl named Kiki, obviously. And at 13, she's a witch. And at 13, witches are supposed to go off on their own and figure out their gift and how they can contribute to society. And so she turns 13 and she finds a place along the coast along with her cat, Gigi, who is a hoot. I love Gigi. So they end up finding this place on the coast, and she's like, how am I going to help people? What can I do to help them? And then she figures out, you know what? I can have a delivery service. I can be helpful in that way. So it's all about her learning to use her magic and being a delivery service and making friends while she's there, learning to live on her own, and being a part of the community. And it was so cute. It was so fun. And the second book is coming out in, is it August? I think it's August. I pre-ordered that one, and a special edition of the first book too, because I do want both of them, because I love the first one so much. I know I'm gonna love the second one as well, I'm sure. So that one's coming out, and I'm pretty sure it was August. So I'm excited. So that's it, you guys. Kiki's Delivery Service, 5 stars as well. So as I said, pretty good 4 5-star books. And for the most part, the others were pretty high besides my 2 that are DNFs, but one was a soft DNF, as I said. Otherwise, the ratings were pretty high. I had one so close, Swan's Daughter so close to 5 stars, but I'm trying to be honest with my ratings. I don't want to just rate something 5 stars to say I accomplished my predictions or anything like that. So let me know if you've read any of these. Do any of these sound good to you? And yeah, stay tuned, like I said, for my predictions for the third quarter. Let's see if I can beat 4 books next time. We'll see how it goes. But I appreciate all of you guys. Please like and subscribe for more book and home fragrance content. And until next time, I so appreciate you guys. Take care. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.